From Ashland, Oregon, home of William Shakespeare and progressive politics, and broadcasting live from the Southern Oregon University Digital Media Center and the RVTV studio, it's the So Not So Late Night Glamour Dave show, and recorded before a non-existent studio audience with a skeletal crew of certified public access producers. You can expect to see tonight's guests, whoever they may be, the Glamour Dave Comedy Players, and the Rogue Valley Public Access Orchestra. Now, here's your host, David Glamour Dave Nienow.
Well, hello, Rogue Valley, and welcome to another edition of the So Not So Late Night Glamour Dave show. I'm your host, David Glamour Dave Nienow, and so tonight I've got as a surprise guest sidekick for the evening, I have a wonderful, beautiful friend of mine, the lovely, talented Jen Ambrose, who's a wonderful singer that sings around the valley. And so Jen has agreed to come on and support me in my interview process, as all guest sidekicks do. And then I will have a couple of wonderful actor friends of mine on the show this evening. So let's begin with right now inviting my wonderful, beautiful friend Jen Ambrose to come on out. Jen, you can come on out. Welcome, Jen. Thank you for coming on to the show.
I really appreciate it. My first time being on this side of
production. Well, you've been a big help to me in my past productions with the Christmas special and other past editions singing on the show. So I'm really happy to have you on as my guest sidekick for the evening. So thank you.
My pleasure and honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, Jen, you can sit down right there in the chair, plug into the mic, and then I will invite our guest, first guest of the evening. And so I have as my first guest a wonderful friend of mine, Susie Gabumpa, and I probably butchered that for her, but hey, this is comedy, so she'll probably let it slide for me because we're friends. So she is an actress. She works, her and I work together through Cafe Girl Productions, and so we're going to talk about her acting work here locally, and what other fun activities she has going on in her life. So Susie, come on to the show. Thank you, Susie. Thank you. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And I'm happy to have you on. And we'll talk a little bit about your acting work and our work together with Cafe Girl.
All right.
So let's plug into our chairs here.
All right.
This is low brow, because we have to plug into our mics. We don't have like a whole bunch of wireless mics around here in the studio. So. Let me see if I can get this plugged. There we go. I'm plugged in. 2 years of work here in the studio, and I still have difficulty plugging mics in. But then I've never been much in the way of a mechanically inclined.
With practice, maybe 2 more years.
Yeah. So I thank you both ladies for coming on tonight, and so. Susie, you and I met through Cafe Girl Productions nearly 2 years ago.
Yep.
And, we've worked on a variety of Cafe Girl stuff.
Mostly Doctor Who.
Mostly Doctor Who in the last couple of years. And it's been a lot of fun. Yep. So what's the current state? What are you doing right now, acting-wise?
Well, mostly we're finishing up the latest episode of Doctor Who so we can get it on to YouTube so everyone can watch it.
Yeah.
We're really excited about that. Written by Brittany Horeja.
Yeah.
And it is the next thrilling adventure of the 2 companions, which are the most important, and then the 2 Time Lords, whatever.
Yeah, right, yeah. Well, no, we got also some arch criminal Time Lords too in the story,
yes.
right?
Yeah, we have some really good, powerful actors who are playing some really good, powerful, evil characters.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's been a lot of fun working on the sets and watching all you actor types do your thing.
It's been a lot of fun doing it.
So how long have you been doing the acting thing? Because from everything that when I see you on set, I am always amazed at your ability to recall musical stuff and scenes from past whatever you've done, and it just amazes me your memory to do what you do.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you to say. I have been doing it pretty much for as long as I've been talking. My sister was very obsessed with us performing everything. So she would be 4 and I would be 3, and she'd be, "Come sing," and that's what we would do. Yeah.
Okay.
So when did you start working as an actor, as an actress?
Non-professionally, I think my first community play was when I was 8, officially. I did a bunch of school stuff before that, and then professionally, I think I was 10. Was the first time that I did any sort of competitions or anything like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you've been at it for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get connected with Cafe Girl and Leah? Because, I mean, she's like the Cafe Girl. So how's that come together?
She is the Cafe Girl. It was actually really funny. Leah and I had worked in Stories Alive, which is another local thing, and it's where kids are encouraged to write stories,
Right, okay.
and then we pick 5 or 6 stories and we put them on as plays, and
Okay.
we perform them for the kids to get their imaginations going,
Right,
and get them
okay, that
revved
sounds
up.
cool, yeah.
Yeah, so Leah and I worked on that, and then one day out of the blue, she messaged me and she went, "Hey, I got this really cool project. I think you're a really big geek, right? And you know Nick Walker, and so those 2 things means that this is really important, and you should totally look at this." And I went, "Okay, yeah, that sounds great."
Yeah?
Yeah, and it was from there on. We were in it. We were doing it.
Yeah. Okay, so now you've known Nick Walker for quite a while.
He was my den mother. In SOU, we have this theater program
Yeah,
that
okay.
people who were in the theater program before welcome the new people and get them situated.
Uh-huh.
So he was a year ahead of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because Nick plays the doctor
He does.
in our Cafe Girl
Yeah, whatever.
web series. So.
I'm sorry, I thoroughly agree with my character that he isn't all that.
Well, he does bring a unique humor to the role, that's for sure.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true. You have to admire him. He's got chops.
Well, now outside of the Cafe Girl production stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got, have you done like any theater production stuff, or you have anything coming up recently?
Well, the last thing that I did was The Evil Dead this past
Right.
October at the Randall Theater.
Yeah.
That was really fun. Yeah.
Right.
There's nothing like getting splashed with blood every single night. It's a unique experience.
And that's based on the Bruce Campbell
Yes.
Evil Dead
Absolutely.
stories, right? Yeah.
In fact, I heard that you might have another guest who is also in Evil Dead. Rumors only.
So, is there in that work with the Evil Dead production? Did you get a chance to meet Bruce Campbell? Because I know that he has some involvement and kind of made a couple of appearances, as I recall.
We were very gentle. We didn't want to push him, and we didn't want to force him to do anything he didn't want to do. But he did grace us with by coming to one of the performances.
Oh, cool.
And he went backstage and talked to each of us about the performance, and it was great. He was very lovely.
Yeah.
Just really sweet.
I had a chance to meet Bruce Campbell when his last book came out, and he had a book signing
At Barnes & Noble.
at Barnes & Noble.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I went there to get, I had already gotten his book, so I went there to get it autographed. And being the producer that I am, and all the, and what it takes for me to get guests, I actually had the temerity to say, "Hey, I'd like for you to come on my show, Gems of the Road Valley."
What did he say?
And he just kind of looked at me and said, okay. It was kind of a response.
I'm sure he gets a lot of that. He gets a lot of attention being local.
Yeah, so, but he is someone I'd still very much like to get on this show, but, it's like he's one of those people I just keep, like, plugging away at.
Well, good luck. I hope you do get him.
Yeah, I think I'm more likely to get Garth Brooks on than Bruce Campbell, but, you never know.
Looking forward to that, too.
Now, outside of all the acting work that you do? I mean, what is it that Susie does, for fun these days?
Oh my goodness, I do a lot of things for fun. I work at the public library system, and I create programs for everybody, but mostly teens and kids.
Oh, okay,
That's
cool.
what I do for fun, but I also get paid for it. So.
And so what kind of programs do you?
Well, my latest
excited
one
about?
was Bob Ross, painting with Bob Ross. It was a lesson in painting for people who don't necessarily have the experience, because if you've ever watched a Bob Ross episode, he goes so fast. He's so professional. One swipe of the
Yeah,
brush
right.
and suddenly you have mountains and it's beautiful. And so we're a little slower. But we have another one on the 29th this month that I'm
Okay.
very excited about.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those Bob Ross shows over the years. It is kind of interesting the approach that he applies to create these majestic scenic landscapes,
Yeah.
right?
And he makes it look so easy.
Oh yeah. And I could try the same thing, and I'd be there for like 6 hours, and still not. I'd more likely have like Snoopy on the canvas than I would.
I can definitely understand that. It does take a lot more time for us mere mortals to get that same effect. And the other things I've done is I just finished the second year of the Harry Potter event that I did at the Central Point Library, which was specifically for kids who wanted to have the full Harry Potter experience. So they came in and they made wands, and then with my acting friends, we made Diagon Alley Day.
Oh.
And then the last part of it was the Harry Potter Hogwarts house party, where they came in and they got sorted and they got to take classes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I couldn't have done it without the volunteers and my acting friends and everybody who was willing to help.
Yeah. And how big of a crowd did you get for that?
We had about, the biggest crowd we had was about 70 people, which was really good for a small library.
Yeah, because I've been in that library.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we actually shot some stuff there.
Yes, we did.
A while
I
back.
forgot about that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It was good times.
Yeah. Well, I could see 70 people in that would definitely.
Wasn't at the same time.
Okay. Yeah.
They came and they left, and then more came.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's it's a nice library, but it is a bit small. So
Yeah. It's quaint.
Yes. Yeah. Well, so what's in your future? Because I know that you're like moving.
Yes. I'm going to Seattle, and I'm going to be partaking in a drama therapy program. It's a grad school program. I'm going to get my master's in psychology with an emphasis on drama therapy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a sense for what people you would like to work with
Oh,
that?
that's a good question. I think right now for me, what's really important is intergenerational. I really like making programs where everybody can kind of work with each other with different age groups. I feel like nowadays there's so much emphasis on separation of ages, and I really want to see them all come together and kind of interact and get a feel for each other that we don't normally get in our communities.
Yeah. I mean, a sense of play in the truest sense. What is play?
Play and openness. Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, it is. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I had last summer. I had for my Rogue Artisans and Crafters art show, I had a local art therapist on my show to explore art therapy as a tool to help people, right? And so that's kind of similar to what you're going to be getting into, but taking, I guess, the more theatrical approach, right?
Yes.
And but I find it amazing that that people can find some help from getting into a creative mode of therapy.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just not all about just kind of dishing out your deepest stuff, right, to someone.
In fact, sometimes the most healing you can have is when you're having the most fun, because it happens without even consciously processing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how long is that program? This is a master's program. So I'm assuming this is like what, a 3-year program?
Hopefully 3 years.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, I can hope for that.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, that sounds great. I look, I mean, that's a great thing to see you, moving into, the next major stage, right, in
Thank you.
your life and your career.
Yeah.
And good luck with that.
Thank you.
Are-
Ideally, I'll bring it back to the valley and see what happens from there.
Exciting. Yeah.
Are we us local friends of yours? Are we going to be able to still see you on occasion, or are you just going to be like up there?
Well, no, I'm pretty sure I have to come back and visit everybody. I don't think I can stay
that's
away
good.
entirely.
Well, yeah. So, because I would imagine that Cafe Girl and yours truly might have some projects down the road, right? Because,
If I can come back, I will.
yeah,
Guaranteed.
I actually have a script that I'm writing right now for a movie short.
I heard that there was something
Yeah,
that you
so-
might be doing.
Yeah, and so I've created a character for you. Her name's Susie, so I got went real original,
What?
Yeah, so
What a coincidence.
Yeah, well,
Take it to heart.
it's but yeah, I'm actually I'm probably about halfway through this script for this movie
Cool.
short. So yeah, when I get it done, I'll email you a copy of the PDF.
Sounds good. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah. So you don't mind kissing other girls, do you, in acting wise?
I've had experience. College was interesting.
Okay, well, I think you're going to be well suited for this role. So I got seen, so
Good to know. I'll prepare myself for that.
There you go. Well, God, Mike, where are we in the time?
You have 10 minutes, 43 seconds remaining, Dave.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Wow.
we are at the end of the interview, but we have some options.
Okay.
Okay, what we can do. Now, you can choose we can have an awkward moment, or you can toot your own horn. And to do that, I have some cheap plastic horns.
Oh, reporters.
Okay. So, you can choose one of these horns, and we can all toot our own horns, okay, for a moment. Or, and Jen, this would be perfect for you because she's a professional flute player. Of course, this is a downgrade to what you normally use,
Hey,
but
music is.
Music is
and the other option is to try to win a small cash prize of 100 pennies.
Goodness.
But to,
Actually, Dave, we added some more money to the cash.
oh, I
prize.
see a couple of extra pennies.
Yes.
Yeah, so so God Mike's added his 2 cents worth, and we can rub a couple of pennies together for good luck. Okay, but to win that, you have to answer a trivia question. So our trivia question categories tonight are Harry Potter and Doctor Who.
Oh, wow.
So, what shall it be? The small cash prize, toot your own horn, or an awkward moment?
I think toot your own horn.
Okay.
As a fellow musician, I
Oh,
can't
okay.
help but want to
Yeah.
play music.
Okay. So, your choice of color, you're the guest.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All righty.
See how well these work.
Now. I think Jen's doing really good there, but then she's got professional experience.
It's got a little crack in it. Got a little
It's-
air.
yeah,
Well, these are a
Not quite
dollar.
airy feel.
not quite thorough.
These are a dollar. I mean, I'll go to
Oh,
the dollar
that's fair.
store, so
Yeah. $2.
Then surprisingly good quality.
Yeah, well, sometimes someone like Jen, can
Actually make something happen with these.
Well, I'm not the only one.
And you get to keep that. That's like a memento
thank you.
of your experience on the show.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So, God, Mike, where are we at now? Because I think it's about time for the message to Garth Brooks.
You have 8 minutes, 4 seconds remaining,
Wow,
Dave.
wow, man, we're gonna have to make up some extra time here somewhere along the line. Okay, so let's bring up the message to Garth Brooks graphic. And so what this is about, ladies, is that when I'm driving, and I'm like married to my car, and so we got Sirius Radio, and Garth Brooks has a station on Sirius Radio, and that's what I'm listening to all the time. Unless my mother's driving, then she switches over to the Elvis station. Okay.
Good taste.
So, But one of the things that Garth does each week is he takes and puts 3 songs together in a theme idea. And so my goal since the creation of this show has been to try to get Garth on the show with a Skype interview. So to get his attention, I've been creating a whole bunch of messages to Garth moments with my own theme song recommendations.
Cool.
All right? And so, when the show's done and I can download the episode, I create a clip, and then I put it on my Twitter, and I Twitter it to Garth, to his official Twitter, and to his official Twitter for his wife, trying to get their attention. So far, it hasn't happened yet. But I keep trying. And both of you ladies have known me enough to know that I can be a trying person at times. So, but, hey, that's just, it's a Glamour Dave thing. So, this is my latest and next to last message to Garth Brooks. Because once I'm done after my message to Garth tonight, I ran out of all my ideas for Garth. Oh. And then I'm going to have to switch to messages to Ellen or maybe Jimmy Kimmel. I haven't decided yet.
That's fine.
And maybe I'll have better luck with one of them. So tonight's theme park suggestion to Garth is All About X's number 2, because I actually did an All About X's number 1 a while back. I can't remember when, but it was several episodes ago. So this is the second theme of that idea. And so the songs for the All About X's number 2 theme park is Womanizer by Britney Spears, You're So Vain by Carly Simon, and Goodbye Earl by the Dixie Chicks. So that's All About X's number 2. So, yeah. So where are we at now, God Mike? God Mike. Hello.
Yes, Dave?
You're relaxing on the job there, God Mike. Where are we at in the time?
Dave. I'm afraid I can't help you.
Well, you'd better, because, otherwise, you might lose a more important role on the show.
Dave, you have 5 minutes, 20 seconds remaining.
Oh, well, geez, what the hell can we talk about? I don't know. Well, Jen, what's going on with you, right?
What is going on?
Because I know, because you stay busy with your singing,
Yes, although Cafe Girl Productions, I was just meeting with Leah today.
Yeah, okay.
And doing some music for their upcoming production, so the Nate and Laura production.
Yeah.
So cool. We did a sing-along to a song, and so that was pretty exciting. And,
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, but I do have a question.
Yeah.
You mentioned, Susie, that you're a fellow musician.
Yes.
Is recorder what you're speaking of, or do you have something else in mind?
No, I actually sing as well and do. I play ukulele.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Okay. Well, do they intersect with your acting? Okay.
Yes, oftentimes. Oftentimes I do it every time I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so there you go. I mean, it comes in many forms.
It does. Absolutely.
Well, Jen, next time that when I see it at Lark's here in Medford, I would expect by then, you'd have totally mastered, used your professional flute experience and totally mastered the $1 flute.
I will do my best.
Oh,
yeah. I will own it.
Yeah.
I will own it. Kind of patch it up and
Make
fix
it
the
your
cracks.
Make it my own.
Fine tune the holes.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a master flutist. What else do you do?
I do some guitar and singing, and we're doing some recording right now also.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
It's
Jen's
fun.
got some great music,
It's
some great
fun.
original music.
That's
So,
well, thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
so
Yeah.
I'm slowly putting together a treatment for that set of 3 music videos
Oh,
that
yes.
that I want to do with her. That I've got 3 of her songs that if you listen to them separately, you won't make any connection. But I've got a mental picture in my mind to connect these 3 songs into a set of videos.
Oh, cool. Like a mini series of music videos.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
So
pretty fun.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's a matter of I got to finish the treatment, get her approval, get it to
Right.
Leah, and then get the
That's
props
right.
and stuff together.
2 minutes remaining, Dave.
Really? Okay. Well. Jeez.
2 minutes, 50 seconds remaining, Dave.
I'll tell you what you can do, God Mike. You can load up one of my other show PSA promos. That would be a good thing to kill a little bit of time.
Yes, Dave.
There's like 3 of them. Take a pick. That'll be. I haven't had any of my PSA promos that I did a while back for all my shows. So this would be a good time. Well, there's one that's like around a minute or so. So, run that. That'll be a good thing to promote one of my other shows.
Gems of the Road Valley.
There you go.
Today is our
Take that opportunity.
Fall
There
Halloween
you go.
Festival
That's
special show that we're doing live here from RVTV.
Totally live, and we are all dressed up in our Halloween costumes. I am a witch, or I don't know, maybe can girl here. I'm not sure. And what are you?
Well, the intention was to be a vampire racer. So
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
so,
you've got me. Oh, put your vampire teeth in. Let's take a look.
So I am the vampire racer. I carry the spirits of Dracula and the legends of NASCAR racing. So.
I don't know if you could talk so well in those.
Yeah, no, I don't think that really works all that well. They're not the best vampire teeth, but it gets the job done to entertain. So
Yeah, for sure.
I'm your host, David Glamour Dave Nienow.
And I'm your host, Sassy Cassie,
Yeah, there you
Cassandra
go.
Wass. I got to give myself a name every
Yeah,
time.
that's right. Yeah, we got to work on that.
So we have an amazing gem for you today, and sometimes they say about this type of gem, never trust a girl on 8 wheels with a smile.
Well, I don't trust any girls on any wheels or anything else at this point in my life.
All righty.
You and my mother. I trust you.
Well, that was some fun comic moments with my TV wife, Cassandra Wass, and she's been my guest sidekick on this show a few times, and she's a great friend and been really supportive of this new endeavor I find myself in here at the studio. So, because I still find myself amazed at what the hell I'm doing here. So where are we at, God Mike?
You have 30 seconds remaining. Dave.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, Road Valley, we're coming up on a wrap up for this first segment tonight. And let the Road Valley know I am still looking for a replacement for my cleaning lady. So anyone interested for cleaning lady duties can apply.
The cleaning lady is still in Hawaii, Dave.
Yeah, I keep hearing that.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, Road Valley, we're coming to the end, and we'll be back in about 3 minutes or so. So stick around and you can see our next guest.